It is that time again, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. My name is Dr. Leo. I'm here with my homie Beyond Sadistic, and it is that time. It is the Invitational.
It
We
is.
are
It is the
here.
Invitational.
Oh, we're all dressed up. We're looking good. This is what these players have been building up for. How you doing, homie? It's been a while.
I'm I'm doing amazing. Yeah, it has been a while since I've been on coverage. Uh, it is just one of those busy times in our lives. The world's opening back us up. People are getting back to their norm or what was their norm, and but here we are. Here we are to spend another beautiful Saturday morning with all y'all, and to show you what all of these amazing players have been building up towards from this last quarter. This is our invitational that we've been building up. These guys have been grinding away with our weekly challenges, our league events. That way they could amass enough points to come in here and crush and just dominate and take home the prizes today. Doc, how have you been? How have you been?
Busy. Work has ticked back up, unfortunately, but
Right,
it's one of those things that I'm happy because Legacy has been great. Legacy has been really interesting. It's been a great time to be playing the format. Blue Red Delver has been causing a bit of a menace, but like people have been finding ways around it, and just like the metagame has finally like started to settle, and it's really good to see. I mean, of course, when it comes to the invitational, all these players are going to be metagaming against each other very aggressively, trying to figure it out. We all know what people play, and then people are going to be playing what they're best at. And we
right.
see two players here who are known for that. So first of all, Care, they are playing their four-color Flashmob deck, and this
Yes,
deck is wild. We were just talking about this during the pre-show, and this deck is basically it plays on the axis of I need to get to 3 mana as soon as possible and just start slamming 3 drops over
yes.
and over and over. Chaotic Bear, beautiful bastard. Thank you for the resub. I love you,
Thank you for the
homie.
reset, brother.
So when we're talking about this deck, it's just as fast as you get to 3 mana as soon as possible. We have Elvish Reclaimer, which helps find mana and fix your mana in this 4-color pile. We have two
Right,
Mox Diamonds. We have two Gilded Goose, and
right.
like I can't hate. I used to play that card in Legacy when Oko was legal,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
uh, and then we have Green Sun Zenith to find Dryad Arbor, and we have Ancient Tombs, we have a Lands package, we have an Urza Saga package. Basically, this entire thing is just like get to 3 mana as soon as possible and just start slamming good, effective 3 drops.
Right. And this also seems to play on the axis of small two-card combinations built within another deck, kind of like a two-card Monty style deck almost, where you've
Yeah.
got all these little micro interactions that work well together with each other within a deck full of everything else. You've got that. It is definitely an interesting deck. I mean, we have seen four-color piles and five-color piles before. This deck is just all over the board with just it is literally flash binder. Come play with me. It's awesome. It is awesome, and it is actually puts up results. This deck is, it does what it does, and when it
It's
starts to
had
tick, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's had several
absolutely.
top fours. It's been featured on our podcast. We've talked about it before. The Legacy Table, shameless plug. And it's one of those things that it has been putting up solid results for a while.
Right.
So when it comes to the other player though, Daniel is an all-time long-time player in the Discord.
Yes.
Daniel has been playing since the origination of the Discord and always been on one deck, Dredge. And so when we're talking about like a player that knows their deck, it's Daniel. And I saw the comment earlier about Daniel's camera angle. Daniel's a college student. Daniel's got the has is playing on the budget, but owns this deck, loves this deck, has been playing this deck for a while, and is
Right.
very good at it. He's got the time to put in the reps, and you see it. Like I think the only other player on the server that I would say could just me 1 for 1 on Cabal Therapy hits. The guy is insane.
Yeah, no, I will 100% agree. Dan is one of the most genuine and nicest players that we have the honor of being able to play with. Dan is literally he is the best dredge player that I have ever played against. He's very efficient and he's very fast with his decisions. which makes him extremely lethal when it comes down to it. He knows when to take those challenging dredge opportunities, and he capitalizes on them very, very well. Yeah. So it looks
Yeah.
like they Dan did mulligan down to 4, which is a bit bad, but on his side, it really doesn't matter. He only needs one dredge, and he's off to the races. So
Honestly, I have lost so many times to Dan mulling down to like 4 or 5 and still killing me in game 1, because that's just
right,
what Dredge does. So, and also all these players are open deck lists, there's double elimination, so all these players know exactly what they are up against in the very start.
right,
And we see here right away Daniel going in with that Faithless Looting, and we got Golgari Grave Troll and an Icarid.
right,
So that's a very, very solid graveyard start for her, Daniel. But interestingly here, the only interaction that Care has is in the form of 3-drop creatures. There's
right,
no Force of Will, there's no Daze, there's no basic interaction outside of Hole Breacher, of course, 3 Endurance in the main, which is like just absolutely insane versus Dredge in game 1.
that's
Oh, and
exactly it.
we do see a Saga.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
Oh,
Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh,
those are
yes!
the
There
dredges.
it is!
Yeah,
There it is. There's the Cabal Therapy. That is a stacked yard. We don't have
it
a
absolutely
bridge.
it absolutely is. The one little downside, LED being in there, but I don't think it really is going to matter. He does have the Narcomoeba. He did hit a Cabal Therapy, yes. He's got an Icarid in there, so he's got plenty of options here. That's for sure. Care, and that was response to Care's second turn, which was to play Inar's Saga after the follow up to the Elvish Reclaimer. So
Yeah, and that Saga, solid land, but the thing okay, okay. We're giving up a colored source for a Bajuka Bog, I'm guessing? Do we have a
um,
Bajuka Bog in the main?
yeah,
Do we have
yeah.
Yep, we got
There's
one
the Bajuka
Bajuka
Bog.
Bog in the main.
Would you have pulled the trigger at that point?
Yes, because then you don't wanna get therapy to death.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. Yeah, so, the thing is, when it comes to this deck is very, like, I wouldn't wanna say thin on its, slots, but this deck has as a plan that can easily lose game 1 versus Dredge.
Right.
So, taking whatever advantage that you have and the fact that you gotta nuke a solid 6 Dredge card that had 2 Icarids in it, a Cabal Therapy. Now, I would have done it in response to the Jellyfish trigger, because the Jellyfish, still gives you a body on board for follow-up therapies.
Right. Which is very true. However, this
And
does lose him any kind of dredgers that he had in the graveyard, so he's going to have to take a natural draw here
yeah, so the Cavern of Souls is on Pirate, by the way. So if you wanna,
okay,
like
for the Hull Breacher.
yeah, of course. If you wanna hard suggest thinking that there's a card that's in hand, it's gonna be Hole Breacher right now.
So Dan did just play an LED from hand, so that Bajuka Bog is going to slow him down. However, it's not going to.
Ooh, 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 hold on, we've got a breakthrough. Oh, 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 no, is this going to be so maintain priority, cracking LED.
Yep.
Do we have Hole Breacher? Because if we have Hole Breacher, this might be over. I
Well,
mean,
I'm
you're gonna
assuming
give
I'm assuming they would, considering played Pirate. Cavern of Souls is named Pirate.
it could be a blind bluff. It could be a
It
bluff.
it could be.
Oh, did Dan just, say did Dan say, "I'm gonna call your bluff"? Oh! Oh! Dan called the bluff.
He absolutely did.
Oh, the mad lad. Oh, that is
There's a
beautiful. Oh, we
bridge
got bridge. We got
and
a
a
gag.
Kogag. Yep.
We got a therapy. Okay, so that's the second dredge. One,
Second
2,
bridge.
3, 4, 5. There's a thug. So, okay, we need a therapy. If we get one therapy, we're calling it good. There's a
There's an Archimedes.
Narcomoeba. Where's my favorite card?
It's like suspense. Oh no.
But
Well,
we still have the 3 floating red from the Lion's Eye Diamond, so we can
so he
still
can
go.
flashback Faithless Looting.
Yeah, so we got a
Excuse me,
Narcomoeba trigger.
Narcomoeba trigger. Yep.
Yeah, so we got a Narcomoeba trigger. The Narcomoeba trigger is going to give
This is
oh, ooh. Oh, yeah, there's no double green for endurance.
oh, they're
Okay,
gonna sack.
there's no other Bojuka Bog in the list. So
No.
what are we looking for here? Probably Glacial Chasm. Very hard for Dredge to beat that in game 1, but at the same time
Or did they get a Vesuva?
oh, a
Yeah.
Vesuva. Oh, I did not s yeah, very bottom of the corner of the deck list, screen, we got a Vesuva.
Yep.
Ooh, that was brutal. Oh, wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. That was brutal.
Yeah. That was so. With that in mind, that's the last trick that they have.
Yes.
Granted, Dan totally went off, so this game is going to slow down. He does have his Narcomoeba. Now, Kara is going to have a construct here.
Yeah, I think going all in on the construct is where you're gonna want to be. And if I was Care, out of all the things that you could find off of the trigger, I would definitely be finding Shadow Spear in this sense.
Yes.
You want to put that clock on. Fenorox, thank you for the follow. Really
Yes,
appreciate
definitely.
it.
Welcome to the Discord.
Yeah, I would like to either be finding Shadow Spear here. Pithing Needle is solid because you can name actually no, you can't name Lion's Eye Diamond. Or yeah, you can name Lion's Eye Diamond.
Yes, you absolutely can.
Yeah, you can name Lion's Eye Diamond, and I think Shadow Spear is where I'm gonna wanna be if we make a construct.
I would assume so as well. I
Oh,
mean,
wait,
granted, they
why is
did
there a
they
Yavimaya?
well,
Did
they
they
activated Reclaimer.
okay, activate Reclaimer.
So they ate the saga to go get Yavimaya.
Ooh, okay. And do you still get the trigger for that?
I would assume you do it in response to the trigger. Isn't that correct?
Instead of the, trigger.
They instead of the trigger. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. LED is legal to name, but not effective.
Yeah, Arn, I agree with that. I will agree with that completely. And is that the Shadow Spear? It looks like the
It is. It is the Shadow Spear. Yeah.
okay. It's either okay. Also a card that has like, oh my gosh, shot up in value. That card is like $20 now
Well,
if you don't.
it honestly, it shot up rather quickly right after the card was printed. It was
Mhm.
hovering around like $8 to $10 just because it was actually. I mean, it was a very effective card outside of Legacy. Now that it's been picked up in Legacy with Legacy play,
Oh
it's
yeah.
gone up again.
Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
It
I
it
really wish
is
I
a
picked up one.
it is a fantastic, I mean, piece of equipment. It's played a lot in quite a few different decks.
Yeah, I have a big interest with the fact that it can turn off the indestructible and hexproof side of things. That's gotta have some play somewhere in Legacy outside of like Merit Lage.
Here comes the Green Sun Zenith for one.
Yeah. Yep. In this case, we are finding another Elvish Reclaimer or a Gilded Goose or a Dryad Arbor. We
Yeah,
got
here comes the
ourselves a
Gilded
goose.
Goose. Yep.
The goose is loose. Honk. All right. So yeah, seeing all this, Dan's packing it in. Looks like that is going to be enough. And honestly, that double Bajuka Bog, like that was brutal.
That really was. That was the nail in the coffin. Had they not been able to go and Vesuva for the Bajuka Bog, that would have been the end of the game right there.
Yeah,
I really think.
and that's the hardest part about all this is the fact that Dan loves to win game one. That's what Dredge does. Dredge, Reanimator, Hogak, stuff like that. They're just gonna crush game one. But we see here Care just coming in and just very calmly cleaning it up.
Right.
Basically, like being a green white reclaimer list. That we haven't seen any of the three drop flash creatures yet. So it's crazy to see. But
Yeah.
coming into this sideboard here, we've got for Dan, we got 4 Nature's Claims, 4 Leyline of Sanctity, 4 Leyline of the Void, one Dread Return, one Lotus Petal, and one Ashen Rider. What do you like here for Dredge?
Well, I don't think. I mean, they know each other's lists, so there's not really any hard graveyard hate outside of two Grafdigger's cages on Kare's side. So um, I th- I think I still bring in the Nature's Claims because Grafdigger's Cage is extremely effective, and the fact that you can go get that off of an Urza Saga means that they're more likely to see it than not. So I do think I would bring in Nature's Claim in this matchup. Um,
Okay. I can agree with that, but how so a lot of Care's graveyard hate, Bajuka Bog, Endurance, requires the targeting of Dan.
yes,
Any play for Leyline of Sanctity? I like Leyline of Sanctity here.
I actually that is the next thing that I would pick up, just because of the fact that they will lean on. I mean, they have three endurance in their deck. They also have both with the Bajuka Bog as well. That will absolutely shut that down because you do have to target the player with that. Um, so I would also agree with that. Plus, you have other things that it just happens to hit, like Cursed Scroll, for instance. It happens to hit. I don't really see a whole lot else that your ley line of
Well,
sanctity is really going to hit. Everything else
it,
is each player or
if I
um,
remember correctly,
an
the
opponent.
wording of Wishclaw Talisman, does that target an opponent to give it to? No.
It says add opponent and opponent, so
An
it would
opponent,
not.
okay.
Yeah.
So, but there's also the other issue of, Glacial Chasm, because
Yes.
Glacial Chasm, by itself wins the game. Of course, it's one of those things that Care is on a clock for doing that, but, I mean, you got Ramunap Excavator, you can sacrifice it every single turn, stuff like
Yep.
that. So you can sort of get around it that way. Any play for the Dread Return Ashen Rider then?
I'm it. It's a possibility. That's a lot of cards you're bringing in just for Glacial Chasm,
You're just hoping
but
to go faster than it?
I mean, that's I think the plan I would be on. The biggest thing with cares with this flash deck is that it works. That lands package is extremely effective, and they can go get whatever they would like. And Elvish Reclaimer being a one drop, with four Green Sun Zenith, that's your four extra copies of Elvish Reclaimer. So
True.
as long as you're hitting your land drops, you are able to pivot and do quite a bit of things. Because of the fact that your Elvish Reclaimer turns on your other tutoring effect, which is essentially Urza's Saga, so it gets you a whole nother spool of cards. Um, there's definitely a world in where you would want to bring that in. I just think it's a lot for one card because the last thing
Understandable.
that Dredge wants to do is just water down its game plan to the point where it's not effectively drawing what it needs or dredging what it needs, I should say.
I mean,
Um,
you can cut one for, like, the Oxyphagonus for the Ashen Rider and the Dread Return package. It's not like it's an excessive amount. I do love the extra Lotus Petal to give you that faster start.
yeah,
So I don't mind bringing in 4 Leyline and, like, 2 Nature's Claim, and then just going for that faster start with the Dread Return, Lotus Petal, Ashen Rider stuff, just trying to get around that initial. Because if you can invalidate the targeted base graveyard hate, like Endurance, it's not a bad play, hey, to just go, okay, go down a card on the ley line of sanctity to shut off between 5, maybe even 6 cards out of your opponent's yard, out of your opponent's board.
yeah, I,
So
I I do agree with that.
so
That is I think that's an easier one to slot in. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got on the care side, they have 2 carpeted flowers, 2 graft diggers cage, 3 crows and griff, 1 extra crop rotation, 4 break trap because no forcible in this matchup. So when you're on against combo, you got to bring in the mind break trap,
Right.
and 1 Phyrexian revoker, 1 containment priest, and 1 hushring griff.
Here I bring in the Grafdigger's Cage. I think Containment Priest is like just a slam dunk. It hits every single thing outside of what comes from a bridge.
Yeah.
Um, uh, do you bring in Hushwing Griff? No, I don't think it really hits anything in Dredge. They don't really
No,
live their
you don't
life on
really.
ETBs.
Yeah, you don't really care about the ETBs. I do like the fact that Containment Priest is proactive. I like the Graph Digger's Cage to have you give you interaction on one as well as another Urza Saga target.
Yeah,
It's one of those things that I really like that, and you do have some play here that you can take out. Things like the Archon of Myria aren't going to be as effective
true.
because by turn 3, if you're getting it out at the latest, you're gonna they're already gonna just vomit it out their hands, and they're only casting, like, 1 spell a turn while getting all the free value in the world.
Right, absolutely. I agree. I don't think outside of that that I there's a whole lot left that I would bring in. Phyrexian Revoker, they really don't have very good names. This isn't like a Hogak deck where you want to take them off altar. Um,
Alter, yeah.
yeah, I think that's those are some clean entries and things that you can cut. Uh, like your Rankle, I think, is a card that's probably not very good in this matchup. I mean, granted, it's a 3/3 flyer, but
Yeah,
you could cut
exactly.
your, like you said, Archon of Emeria, or and cut your Rankle. You could trim on a Hull Breacher if you'd like. You know, things like that that you could slot in fairly easy. This Crop Rotate Green Sun Zenith Elvish Reclaimer package, I honestly think is going to do the most amount of damage to Dan, and that's probably what I would want to focus on in my opening hand here.
Okay, so we did see the Grafdigger's Cage come in and the Ley Line come in. So
Yep,
both players having their hate for each other on the board on turn 1.
which is
So
exactly what you want to mull to.
exactly, and both of these players, I do believe, kept on 7. Let me double check.
I thought did Dan
Uh,
Mulligan once.
Dan Moles, Care keeps on 7, Dan and keeps on 6. So either way, it's very solid, and we see one of the best enablers here in the
Thinkweed Imp
Putrid Imp.
or Putrid Imp, yeah.
Yeah,
Putrid
the
Imp is
Putrid.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's really had this resurgence within Legacy recently because of the fact that the Mad Vine decks are just so good, as well as the fact that Dredge and Hogak have really gone back to Putridum to help with those explosive starts.
Right. Yeah, and the Madvine decks are very very potent and very good.
Yeah, exactly. And
They're
remember,
like bizarre aggro style type of effective.
I was really hoping we would see one here. I actually called it in our podcast talking about it. I was saying how I really do think the Madvine, I mean, is would have been a Z axis attack that could have really just gone well and just started demolishing.
That was
Okay.
a that was a hell of a. He's got
Yeah, that
three. Did he hit three bridges?
yeah, I think that's no, that's one, two bridges. I think there was a Stinkweed Imp in there, a Golgari
Ritual.
Thug, a Faithless Looting. I don't know that last one. Oh, that's the Icarid that was in there before, and an LED. So, yeah, Bear. Honestly, hey, like if someone would have shown up with Madvine, I would have just lost my shit because that's just such a fun deck to watch happen. I've lost to it a couple of times. I was hoping with AHG they'd bring that in, but instead they came with Ruby Storm, which is also a solid play because we weren't expecting much combo in this meta.
Right. Yeah, I'm a
Uh,
huge fan of Madvine. That's actually what I just put together in paper. It's I my LGS has got very small modern league that they're starting, and that was my way of building a modern deck that crossed over with the legacy deck. So half of it, or a quarter of it, is sleeved with smoked inners to be modern, the modern deck, and then I just take those out and put them into the legacy deck, and it becomes the legacy deck.
That's brilliant. So we do see a breakthrough here, keeping one card. Ooh, that one card left is a Cephalid Coliseum.
Right,
So, we're seeing here that Dan aggressively dredging because of the fact that Dan knows that that yard isn't going to go anywhere. It's just going to sit there because of the fact that Grafdigger's Cage isn't going to exile it. Anything that's going to target Daniel to exile it can't do it because of
correct,
that ley line. So Dan's just going to get a very stacked yard, keep on drawing until hitting that nature's claim, and then just finishing this game up.
correct. Because that's exactly what. Once he has
Ooh.
that, that's really going to do the damage. And Putrid Imp is perfectly fine just poking in, and
Okay, and we got a
now he's got a
Stinkweed in.
stinkweed. Two flyers effective.
Okay, so we got Cabal Therapy in the bin. Can't be flash backed, but that's one of the setup cards. As long as
Right,
there's a Cabal Therapy in the bin, you can just start just machine gunning down, machine gunning, creating zombies, just creating all these piles of zombies. Because we already have, I think, two bridges yeah, I think two bridges.
yeah. I thought there was a third, but I think you're right. I think it's only two, and everything else since then is not been.
And Care missing, I think, two land drops now and going to discard. Yeah, oh,
Wow,
that's brutal.
that is really brutal.
And we see two off colors, a white and a blue land. There's a single basic. There's a basic island and a basic forest in the deck, and Like, this basic island is gonna cast anything under 3 mana because Hull Breacher is the only blue card in the deck.
Correct.
Like, eh, I this is what I was worried about it when we were talking about this on the podcast, was simply the mana of this deck.
Right.
Because now we see here, Dan is confidently sitting behind the, Leyline of Sanctity, and unless, as, Care, they brought in those Crows and Grips, I don't think they're gonna be able to do much about it, and are we seeing another go to discard? Yeah, I bet you that that hand is filled with endurances. I bet you.
Probably. I would have thought they would have thought that the sanctity would have come in, but
Yeah, and see, we're
yikes.
already pitching the extra green cards. I'm betting you there's gotta be more than at least one endurance in the hand, and that
Oh,
endurance
I would
is
agree with
very
you.
uncastable.
However, they can target themselves, and whatever they are discarding, they will get back. So
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm saying it's uncastable because it requires 2 green pips.
correct, correct. Absolutely. In terms of that, yes, I do say I will say that at least them having to discard is not as bad in a deck like this.
Yeah.
Now they have their one land just gave them their two green
And
pips.
no, this is one of the best parts about the dredge is going to the backup. It was like, okay, I'm just gonna repeatedly dredge back my beaters, play my beaters, and start bashing you in the face.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, we got a gilded goose off of the Yavimaya. Okay. And yeah, exactly what we were worried about. We're missing that green source. That Yavimaya just fixed all that mana.
correct. Yeah. Dan was able to drop them down to 9. So
Yeah, Looter Scooter, honestly, this has been a tech that Dan has been working on for a long time. And Dan really knows this deck, really knows how to play with it. So I would, if you're a dredge pilot and you're worried about endurances, I would be running Leyline of Sanctity in the board. I think it's
I
a
agree.
great play.
I totally agree. Dan's got to be a
As
little bit more efficient with attacks now. He can't just go all out, but or do
yeah,
you?
I can see it. I'm gonna just keep on turning the dork sideways. I'm gonna turn them sideways as much as possible because your dorks come back. Also, that's a Future Imp is threshold, so it has flying.
That is yes.
So I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm going, my opponent's at 9. I'm at 11 from just damaging myself. I have more beaters on board that are 2/2s and 2/1s. I'm going to get in and over and just keep on beating because there's no lands in the graveyard right now. That Elvish
No.
Reclaimer is a 1/2. And yeah, I say force damage. Like you don't care if because if your opponent's gonna waste time cracking food and stuff like that to save themselves a few life points, I think I'm just gonna just murder you before that even happens.
Right. And while this is going on too, you guys are able to vote for the round number 2. The straw poll was just posted. Right now it'll be Dalibor versus Yoram, Dewookie versus Turbo. Uh, oh, I'm sorry, those are updates.
Yeah, so we
Feel
got
free to
updates.
reference. Yeah, so Dalibor versus Yoram right now, it's Dalibor's up 1-0. Dewookie versus Turbo, they're still in game 1. And then Quirios versus Champagne. Quirios is up 1-0 right now. So Four Color Brea up a game, and Abzan Reclaimer is up a game as well.
Yeah, Eternally Surprised versus Miss Fringe. And Mr. Fringe is on test. Is game 2. Okay. So looks like Cosmic is also up a game versus AHG, which is actually like really interesting. I really thought that Ruby Storm would have gotten there in game 1.
Right.
But coming back to the current action we got here, yeah, it looks like Dan is just turning the guy sideways. Gogor Thug's gonna eat the block. Oh wait, no, has it eaten the block yet? But okay, so after the attacks, yeah, looks like Kara they're gonna be at 6. So seeing this and then knowing that you cannot hit the what's it called? Yeah, endurance isn't gonna do anything. It's
They're
gonna
gonna
be
just
targeting
it's
you.
just to target themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't gonna work. Um, but the card that right now matters the most is gonna be Glacial Chasm. But the thing is, there's no recovery for Glacial Chasm. Oh, are exiles crop. So they have to target
Because the
themselves.
creature dies, so it kills the bridges.
Oh, I see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's a play. That's a play.
Yeah.
You know, you
It
do
is. It is.
realize that your opponent is going to have to kill you when it comes to bridges, but I think at this point it's too late. Like you're
Agreed.
facing down 6 power already. What's Dan trying to motion for? Oh, okay. So this is while the bridge triggers I think are on the stack. Non-active player versus as active player. I think Dan might have to exile these bridges. So we do have our chaotic bear, who's our tournament organizers, or that is around and can answer any sort of questions they might have. We have the whole mod team out here today supporting these players and putting on a great show for everybody. So thank you everybody who's been tuning in, hanging out with us. We're going to be here all day covering this invitational. We're going
Yeah,
to be
definitely.
having we're gonna be talking about different deck techs. We're gonna be bringing you all the best matchups that you yourself can vote on, as well as the fact that we got a bingo board that you can play along with. And if you get a bingo, we have prizes for you. So the first couple of people who get bingos, please post your bingo board onto the Discord into the general chat, and we will have one of our mod team members reach out for you for one of our new dry erase tokens. They look really cool. They're
And
really nice.
there's been already a couple hits here. There's an LED that was cracked, a lands changing types. I think there was another one that I saw that was a card cheated into play without paying mana cost. That was another one that we saw.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good stuff. Good stuff,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Nylock, thank you for the follow. We really
Yeah, no, thank
appreciate
you.
you.
I think they're waiting on a ruling on that with the bridges.
Yeah, so they're trying to do the active player, non-active player. I do
Oh,
believe worried about Dan is asking questions because I think this was in combat with the thug dying. The trigger to put the card on the stack as the card back on top, as well as the other
oh,
triggers.
I get what
Yeah,
he's
so we
asking.
have we
Okay,
have the whole stack right now. We got the bridges creating tokens. We got the bridges being exiled and stuff like that. Because in response to all of that, Care invoked the endurance not with
right,
the intention of targeting Daniel, but with the intention of targeting self and the evoke trigger sacrificing to exile the bridges. I
right.
th- there's still I think it's still going to get two tokens, but I think they still get exiled. But I can't remember if it's checked or not once the bridges are exiled. That is something that I always have to like double check on because there's a lot of play here. There's a lot of interactions. Of course, we also have the Grafdigger's Cage. We're trying to figure out if the Putrid Imp can also leave and put on top of the library. It's a very tight little scenario, but luckily we got Chaotic Bear. Also, one of our other staff judges is Mr. Jack Dax is going to be interacting with them. And we here at the MTGPL just try to put on the best for everybody. We have staff judges, staff tournament organizers, everything like that. So if you like this, what you see, and you want to be involved, if you want to see yourself on camera, if you want to see yourself on stream and show off your awesome looking deck, hit us up! Exclamation point Discord in the chat.
So it looks like it's a simple stack. Didn't if what it boils down to is did endurance die first or did thug is what it boils down to.
So I think with Thug dying, that puts the triggers on the stack, but then with Endurance dying, it puts the other triggers on the stack.
You're right
Um,
because it would have been in response to the thug dying himself.
yeah, exactly. Uh, Thank you, Aiden.
Hey,
We
you're
uh
welcome.
we like to show up for everybody and make sure that everybody is having a good time and understand that we take this seriously.
Definitely.
Also, want to rock the bow tie as an exchange instead of the straight tie this time because it's summertime. It's bow tie weather.
See, and I'm in Wisconsin. It's always winter, so
Yeah,
there we go.
exactly. But, yeah, I think it's being resolved right now. how we'll give the players. Oh, okay. So we do have some updates here. Looks like
Hess did win game
game.
2.
Yeah, and that was Mr. Fringe and the Eternally Surprise.
Yep.
So
So
that's
Mr. Fringe
another.
is going to take that down.
Oh, so let me ask you this, Corey. Did
Mhm.
you expect as many Bant players as we have? It seems like a lot of players just wanted to gravitate to one of the best decks in the format, Bant, as well
Right.
as the fact that like they wanted to metagame against trying to beat Delver. But I mean, we've had a couple people comment that Bant isn't even a hard answer to Delver in this. But I think we have three Bant players.
Well, so Bant is actually probably what I would have been playing, that or Madvine. Bant is a deck that I think is overall a very strong deck. It does what it wants to do very, very well. Prismatic Ending is a home run against pretty much every deck that you're going to run into. So, yes, that would have been a natural meta game for like a Delver type meta, but our meta has never really been all that heavy with Delver. And the players that are here generally aren't really Delver players. The players that are playing that we know are pretty much playing what any one of the players that have been here for long enough probably could have put them on. Um, this seemed to have a little bit less metagaming than what's happened in
Mhm.
previous
Well,
invitationals. However, I personally probably would have been playing Bant just because it's a safe choice and it's a very, very good deck.
yeah, I agree there. It is very much like the safer of the picks. When I look at this tournament, we couldn't metagame as effectively because the fact that it was a top 16. It
Right.
was as a very, very we opened it up a little bit more to add more diversity into the top, as well as the fact that to allow more players to get into the top. So, when we look at that, players who can play what they know best. Obviously, Care and Daniel are two examples of that. Two players who know their decks very well, know what to play. Do they just adjusted sideboard slots?
Right.
And on the same matchup, though, Care that Ancient Tomb is shut off. Uh, like you're not gonna be playing that ancient. You're not gonna be activating that Ancient Tomb because then you're just dead.
Right. So
But
Dan is going to draw that Putrid Imp,
yeah, so we do get the Putrid Imp. Imp. The thing is, Putrid Imp has flying right now, right? Or does it have to discard to get flying?
it has to discard to get flying.
So this is the card that can possibly and this has happened to me before. Or a lot, actually. I've died to bad Putrid Imp beats. So one man discard it, gains flying. It's got threshold. It's a 2/2 that can't block. So I
I'm
think.
sorry. I also said something backwards earlier. I said Mr. Fringe. Eternally Surprised is who beat Mr. Fringe 2-0. So I apologize
Oh,
about
okay, okay, yeah.
that.
Yeah, so getting in here with all the dorks, Narcomoeba, and if the discard happened to Putrid Imp,
Which it did not.
that's it did
He
not.
had one card in hand and it
Oh,
was
there is a flyer. There's a Guilty Goose on board,
yep.
so that makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay,
he drew the Putrid Imp off the top and that's
okay.
still
So
in his hand.
looks like we got the goose blocking.
And I'm assuming he would also block with Reclaimer.
Okay,
Although I doubt he would block the Stinkweed Imp.
yeah, and it looks like the Thug is gonna hit the bin, and we're gonna have the
Yep.
exact same interaction minus the bridge this time, and it's
Yep.
gonna put Stinky on top.
Yep.
And I like putting
Absolutely.
Stinky on top because Stinky is another flyer, make it as hard as possible for them to block you this next turn. And what's gonna be really interesting here is Dan could possibly get another extra draw in order to discard with okay. So this is what I was thought. Oh wait, yeah, the Yavimaya allows that ancient tomb to tap for green. I didn't think about
Correct.
that. And it looks like Care is gonna try and stabilize here with the food tokens.
Well, it kind of depends on. I think they're
Oh
actually going to sack a land and go start tutoring with Reclaimer.
yeah, so we got the Care
I
is gonna sacrifice.
I
It looks like
would. I think I would take my Sajiri step.
I would sacrifice the Security Step.
Oh,
Oh,
he is going to
basic
sacrifice the
island.
island. Okay.
Okay, that's telling me Containment Priest might be a still a play here. Because the only other white cards in the list are Containment Priest, Archon of Myria, and that's it. Yeah, I think keeping the white there is saying I plan on casting Containment Priest at some point.
Well, and I honestly, Care needs to do something quickly because that Stinkweed Imp is going to be able to uh discard a card next turn to be able to get flying, and that's going to be 3 flyers coming across. Which
Okay, looks
Gilded Goose is the only one that can actually block that right now.
yeah, exactly. And being at 3 life is I mean, you can gain 3 life from the food. And back from the Yoko era, we know that incidental life game is good.
Very true.
Uh like it's but it's like you're committing 2 mana to that every single turn. And now we just saw Care finding an Urza saga. Like it's very much like one of those close things because you understand you're gonna lose this land drop in 2 turns.
Yes. It is, but that Urza Saga does so
Oh,
much for
wait,
you over those 2
no, no,
turns.
no, no. Urza Saga should be on 2 now because it was found on the end step, and when it enters the battlefield, it gets the first one, and on the next main phase, it should be able to create the so it's only Care, they only have 1 more turn with the saga. Okay.
After their
So
draw. So this is their draw, so
okay,
now
so
it'll
this
kickstart
is on
2.
draw step.
Yeah,
Okay, now we're going to 2.
because at the end of your draw phase, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this makes 3 blockers for the next turn. So that
Yes.
will clog up
And it does give them food also.
Manolia Lunar. Thank you for the follow.
Hello.
Oh, Glacial Chasm.
Okay. So this is pretty much going to slow the world down to a halt.
Oh, is Care activating the Ancient Tomb for Ancient Tomb mana?
It looks like it to be able to make the construct.
Yeah, exactly. That puts Care down to 1.
Uh no, they're tapping that for a green.
Yeah, but it requires 2 mana in order to create the construct.
Can you tap? Don't you tap Urza Saga itself? No, you can't.
No, you can't. You have to do 2 and tap.
Yeah, so they do have to
Oh, Glacial Chasm prevents damage.
damage. It does, yeah.
What?
Same. I
Oh,
didn't even
okay.
think about
Oh,
that. I
okay,
didn't even
okay.
think
Well,
about that.
this requires a Gatherer's Surge.
Oh, it does. It does. It's all damage. I didn't even think about it when they put that down.
Enters battlefield, sacrifice a land, creature you control can attack, prevent all damage that would be
Yeah,
dealt to you. That, oh my gosh. This is why I love Legacy. This is why I love Legacy as a format. Because
agreed.
I've been playing this format for so long. I've been playing this game for 21 years now. No idea. No idea that you could even do that sort of thing. Like, uh, just the little things, and, like, it takes players innovating and looking at different things and different, points of view to pull together this sort to pull together these ideas into this congruent deck. And,
Then
like
quite a Wish Claw Talisman also.
yeah,
And 8 of food.
and
So they are up to
and
5.
I think when it comes to the Wish Call Talisman, that's just +1 artifact count in this situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
So
not at 5. Yeah, they use the Wish Claw for mana or the food for mana, not for
oh,
life.
okay. Alright, okay,
Table
that makes
spotter.
sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. God, and then this glacial chasm is just gonna just sit there. I
So
think
if Care has a Ramanap excavator or a Green Sun Zenith, this is pretty much going to be done because this
yeah,
construct is going to get large enough with food alone to be able to beat through everything. Although the Stinkweed Imp is there to block, so that
Pinky can block and death touch it. Well, old
correct.
school death touch it.
Destroy, yeah.
Yeah. The trigger goes on the stack after damage happens. God, don't you miss
Yeah.
damage on the stack sometimes?
Not at all. at all.
Oh, you don't like griefing your opponent?
Oh my
Eh,
lord.
I
That
was an
was
asshole back in the day.
oh, Doc, that doesn't surprise me.
Dude,
There are
don't
so
even
many
come at me. Don't
there
even
are
come
so many
at me.
people
High
that I
school
talk to
high
all the
school
time, they're like
library? Oof, oof.
they say the same thing, it's just like, what?
Oh, yeah, high school
Looks like they're looking
library
for another judge
damage.
call here.
Yeah.
Limited was pretty wild with damage on the stack. Yes, Charbel, I agree with that.
Yep. Eternally surprised. Yep, exactly that. Invasion was still one of my favorite sets.
Constructed damage on the stack though, just not
God.
cool. There was so much garbage that
Oh, yeah.
that you had to plan through. Oh my god.
Oh, first strike plus damage on the stack? Okay, my creature dies. Okay, you missed your first strike damage. Cool.
Yeah.
My creature's
Reconnaissance.
still alive.
Or what is it?
Yes.
Reconnaissance? Yes, reconnaissance.
Reconnaissance. Yep,
God, that
reconnaissance. See, this is what happens when you get a bunch of legacy players all together. Is they start reminiscing about the glory days when
yeah.
like Magic was a more wholesome type. But looking at this, I think Dan just needs to start holding cards in hand. And the
I
reason why I say that is
I do agree
because
with you.
yeah. So
Damage
when
on
you
the stack
hold
was whack. That should be a saying.
get that get that on a t-shirt for me. Someone send me that for a t-shirt.
Why
So
is he shuffling?
I think oh, was there a trigger?
Carbol,
No.
it's okay. You're not supposed to know what Dan's board is. It's most of his board is graveyard.
Yep.
It's
Oh,
dredge.
it's the wish claw. It's the wish claw. So it's the
Oh, gotcha.
interaction with the wish claw and the okay. Okay.
Oh, he
That
accidentally revealed a card from library.
oh, that makes sense. And then yeah, the call is always to put it back in, shuffle, stuff like that.
Okay,
But
I didn't even see him reveal a card from his library. All I saw was the card that he had put on top. But
yeah. So
okay,
when it comes to Dan's game plan here, I think your game plan is you need to just start drawing cards and just sit it within your hand. Let your opponent do these things. Sure, your opponent still can't attack. Your opponent can amass all this sort of board state of whatever and stuff like
right,
that. Let your opponent struggle to maintain that cumulative upkeep, sacrificing lands and such like that, and just draw until you can hit your nature's claim. Because then, if
well,
you can draw to hit your nature's claim, that means that you
yes,
can go. That means that you can then activate your Cephalid Coliseum, go off as hard as possible. All you have to do is nature claim the Grafteer's Cage, flashback the Cabal Therapy on one of your creatures to name Hull Breacher,
right,
force it to go into play, and then or to take it from hand, slam that Cephalid Coliseum, and you're going gangbusters. You can just fill your yard, get out the Dread Return package, assuming that was brought in, and kill the Glacial Chasm for the win.
right,
Like, I like just sitting there and stacking your hand. I'm just worried that Dan is just gonna not see that and not play and just keep playing to the board in hopes that Care will eventually not be able to maintain this because Care has one land that's gonna sacrifice now. Has to sacrifice the glacial chasm, or otherwise you're going to one life, and the next turn you have to sacrifice it. It's a very, very soft lock, and Dan did the correct thing already in playing to the board, bashing in to make life as hard as possible for Care by pressuring that life total, and then now is just going to just has to sit there and accumulate resources. I think that's
right.
where Dan has to be right now.
So care does go down to one. They did sack the ancient tomb with reclaimer to go get a misty, and there he's going to be activating and
Okay,
sacking the Urza Saga.
so it looks like stacking the Urza Saga with the triggers on the stack, so you still get the one drop. But the thing is, like, the glacial chasm prevents attacking. So what are you gonna find here with this? Okay. So you're gonna find another Urza
Another Urza
Saga.
Saga. Absolutely. I would too.
Okay. So we got another Urza Saga, which is another land that's gonna sacrifice itself, and we already know that the Misty is unusable because you're at one life. If you have to be able to sacrifice the glacial chasm on your next turn. I think this is locked up for Dan, so long as Dan doesn't just lets it go. Just lets it go, draws the card, watches Care flounder over the pressure of their own mana base and then just get in there.
There's
And
Shadow
we see
Spear.
Shadow Spear doesn't do anything. It just gives your creature lifelink for when your opponent's swinging in. But the thing is, like your opponent's gonna be swinging in with so many flying attackers, it's not gonna do anything.
Right.
Yeah, if you got a stage, yeah, I agree with that, Malfi. Stage can help here. It can keep it going, but the problem is you don't have the mana to activate the stage. Like the Misty Rainforest only taps for the green through the Yavimaya, but like you just don't have any mana here. You're sitting here with 2 lands that are gonna sacrifice within the next 2 turns.
There is no Thespian stage in this deck list.
Oh, do we not have a Thespian stage here? Oh wait,
No.
I saw the Field of Runes. Thought it was a stage. Yeah, like I really do think here if you're in Dan's position, you just watch and wait as the weight of your opponent's land base just lets them crumble and just draw cards. Just draw cards. Just draw cards.
He did equip to the construct,
Yeah, of
the
course.
Shadow Spear.
Which isn't the play because there's one, two, three, four, or 5 blockers, 5 flyers over there.
Yeah, because if Dan attacks and gives his creatures lifelink, or if Dan attacks
Oh
and
man.
they have lifelink, then all he's doing is giving him an opportunity. He doesn't he have a food left he can sack?
Yeah, he's a
No,
food left that you can sack. Dan,
no, he does
Dan,
not.
homie. There's a food in the bottom left corner.
Oh, there it is down there.
Or
Okay.
top left, sorry, top left corner, bottom left
Yep.
of the play mat. Uh, man, homie, like I'm telling you, you gotta hold those cards so that way you can activate Cephalid Coliseum and still have cards in hand to discard to Putrid Imp. Give it flying, swing out.
Yeah. Care at untap this is probably going to be to activate Wishclaw.
Okay, so we're seeing Wishclaw activated. That cannot. No, wait, can it be given to Dan? I always forget. Wishclaw.
He has Leyline of Sanctity out. I don't think you can. Or does it
Enters the
say your
battlefield with
opponent?
3. Remove a Wishclaw from search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. An opponent
Oh,
gains control of
so he would,
Wishclaw.
yes.
Yeah, so he still does get it. Which I really hope Kara wins here. Otherwise, you just handed Dan the game. You choose
So
which opponent gains control of Wishclaw. It resolves. If that player leaves it, you regain control of Wishclaw. Yep, it
yeah.
can get through. Does not target.
So if you're on Dan's side, what do you go get?
Nature's
I'm just
Claim.
kidding. You get your Nature's Claim.
The one card that literally wins Dan the game here.
So there goes the Glacial Chasm.
Yep.
However, the construct is going to be attacking, and I'm assuming this turn to be able to gain some life. Because that's why they're not going to crack the food. They don't
Oh
want to.
wait! I didn't even think about this. Shadow Spirit gives trample.
It does, yeah.
It gives trample. It gives trample, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it's only 4. So blocking with a stinkweed absorbs 2. You take 2 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not seeing any other.
He
Yes,
can
because
make
stinkweed.
food. He can make food in response.
Okay, getting it up to 5.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you're not going to make a food. You're going to make another construct. No. Oh wait, are stinkweed imps 1/1s or 1/2s?
Or
I
what?
thought they were stinkweed imps.
Stinkweed imps? I think they're 1/2s, aren't they?
I thought they were 1/2s as well. They are 1/2s. So
Yeah.
just block with one of the 1/2s because you want to maintain as much damage. I think, yeah,
So the construct is going to die.
gonna die because of the trigger.
However, he's going to get another one or be able to make another one. So
Yeah, exactly.
Dan goes to
1, 2,
3.
3,
Yeah.
4, plus the +1/+1 from the
Shadow
Shadow Spear
Spear.
itself, so it's 5. So goes up to 6 because it was at 1 life.
Yep.
Your opponent. Oh wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, because the Wishclaw Talisman is on Dan's side. Should
Yep.
not count the Wishclaw Talisman. Uh, Dan has control over the Wishclaw Talisman. Has 1, 2, 3 attackers, 2 of which they can be pumped into 2/2s.
Right.
and you know that and you can flood the board. So I think here Dan takes a normal draw, so you have an extra card in hand to discard.
Yep.
Third, you activate the Wishclaw Talisman, get your Nature's Claim, kill the Wishclaw, kill the Grafdigger's Cage, swing for the fences, do we have any bridges?
No, they were exiled. He has no bridges.
He hasn't been dredged over any other bridges.
Correct.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's another construct. And unfortunately, without Stinkweed Imps, this construct is probably going to live through this next swing. He could claim the
Uh,
spear. That is very true.
it is definitely a play. Hey, that I do not hate. So we got third trigger on the stack, just floating a mana, sacrificing it. So that construct can attack. It's just so close. It's so close. Oh
Agreed.
wait, Nature's Claim also gives your opponent 4 life, right?
Nature's Claim does gain your opponent life, yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So you still have to fight through that, but that's going to lock it up. Yeah, Kare's going to
Yeah.
take that one down.
Woo, that was close. Like
That
honestly,
that 4-color Flashmob deck just grinds, man.
yeah,
It
it does
absolutely
so
does.
well.
When you look at it, it looks like a hodgepodge of a bunch of stuff. But like we said in the pregame show, uh, it's all these little small micro interactions that work very well with each other. That you're able to tutor those. That makes it just fantastic. Yeah,
Yeah,
well played.
definitely.
Well played by both players. I totally
Oh,
agree.
and we did see the Ashen Rider come in as well as the 4. We saw the Dread return.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't see anything we didn't see the Nature's Claim, so the Nature's
Oh, he
Claim
didn't even
didn't
bring him
come
in.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
So
that's our round
it looks
1.